Now, Good Morning Maryland at 9.
Thanks for joining us this morning. All right, diving plays from Brooks, long passes from Johnny U, and good old Earl Weaver going toe-to-toe with the men in blue. All the memories from the glory years of Memorial Stadium. And now Cal and Billy Ripken are using those memories and the memory of their dad to help build the foundation of success for our children in Baltimore. ABC's Lamont Williams shows us it starts with the former site of the stadium. Take a look.
Do you remember the glory days of Memorial Stadium?
Signaled the start of
The land that was once full of cheers now sits quiet, and some portions of it neglected. Birds that used to play here are replaced by those of a different species.
Back he goes!
And the calls of Chuck Thompson are replaced by the ringing of bells. But through the vision and memory of their dad, Cal Jr. and Bill Ripken will bring America's pastime back to 33rd Street.
Today's a wonderful day. When you put a shovel in the ground, it means you're going forward.
And going forward with Cal Sr.'s legacy, Cal and Bill broke ground on what will be the first Cal Ripken Sr. Foundation multi-purpose park planned for Baltimore City. The foundation's goal is more far-reaching than baseball.
We're not trying to build Major League Baseball players or National Football League players at this site of Memorial Stadium. We're trying to give kids a chance. Look down at what we're sitting on right now. This is a lot of the fields around this area that kids have to go play on. I wouldn't want to come here and play on this.
In partnership with the Y of Central Maryland, the Rip Senior Foundation will use this park as a place for kids to have a safe environment.
It's just great to give kids an opportunity that they otherwise wouldn't have. And who better to provide it than the Ripkens?
It's just going to be great seeing more, African American kids at that play baseball in the city, and hopefully more kids start playing.
And continue to make Cal Senior proud.
To actually have a field here for the kids, he would be very proud, because that was what he cared about most, was using baseball to give a few life lessons to kids.
Just as Cal Sr. was the foundation for the success of his sons Cal and Bill, they will use the original home plate for Memorial Stadium to be the foundation to help reach kids in Baltimore City. On 33rd Street, I'm Lamont Williams, ABC 2 News.
The multi-purpose field will be used both for baseball and football. It should be open by the end of October. Jamie.
All right, here he is, Hall of Famer Cal Ripken joining us. When Dad took you down 33rd for the first time, you walk in there as a kid. What do you remember?
My earliest memory is going to a World Series game in '66.
Really?
I was 6 years old. I sat in the upper deck.
Yeah.
Had a good view of Frank Robinson hitting a home run into the lower deck in left field. I thought it was the coolest place ever. And I didn't get a chance to come back for a number of years because Dad was in the minor leagues. Right. Then I came back again when he came to the big leagues.
All right, 1981. Earl says, get in there and run for Singy. What was that like?
Yeah, I was a pinch runner. That was my debut. I ran out in the field. It felt like this wonderful stage, and you're sitting down there. And all I could think about was, don't make a mistake, don't get picked off. Felt like you were in the middle of a stage. But and Frank White put a pickoff play on just to test me out.
Yeah. You know what? To this day, Cal, I know you feel the same way. Pulling up and not seeing those lights. It's different, isn't it?
Well, I talked to Brooksy about this a little bit yesterday, is when you start to drive the drive, with the way you did for all those years, and all of a sudden you pull around the corner and the structure's not there.
Right.
There's a little bit of sadness that comes over you. And then I remember, a few moments really quickly, the last day of the season in '82, when we almost won the pennant from a miraculous comeback. So there's a little bit of a sadness that comes over you, but then you completely turn that around and say, this is going to be a destination that's going to make its own memories for a lot of other kids in different ways. And that's the exciting part. The ballpark that we're able to put down there, if you saw the drawings, it's going to be off the charts. Multi-faceted facility, a synthetic replicated grass, so it's going to look good in 10 years, it's going to look good in 20 years, it's going to be the place to be.
And home plate's going to be right where home plate was. Look at the drawings here. Yeah. How proud was Senior?
Senior would be out of his mind proud, and I just thought of what Governor O'Malley said yesterday. That's sacred ground.
Absolutely.
And I think all of us, Artie Donovan and Brooks Robinson, myself, Brady, Billy, who were there yesterday, we all kind of feel that way. And no better. If there's one, if you didn't know that you were doing the right thing here, doing this, it just felt right. It was a no-brainer, and all of a sudden, you put a kids' field right here, right on the same place that we played. we knew that we were on the right track and we were doing the right
I
thing.
remember when Eddie used to hit one down in the cap, man, and that still used to shake. It used to shake. Hey, tell me, I got to ask you about your conversation. Oh, you're having conversations with the front office. As a fan, what is taking so long? Cal, give Cal what he wants. What do you want?
No, it's not that simple. It's I made a choice when I got away from baseball when I retired that I wanted to be there for my kids through high school, and I still value that most of anything else. My boy has just finished his sophomore year. My daughter's already away in college, so So I started to think if I do come back, the timing would be back in a couple of years. And I think the urgency of things that went wrong this year at the start of the season has kind of kicked that forward. And then there's a lot of rumors. When somebody asks me about a rumor, I go, define what the rumor is. I'm having wonderful talks with Mr. Angelos. We're exploring possibilities, but it's a little more complicated. I have 3 minor league teams. You got a lot of stuff that you've built on the side from an amateur perspective. So if that was to take place, there would have to be a transition. It's a little more complicated than it sounds.
You watch every night. This team's struggling. The last week we're doing all right, but can the 1988 club beat this club? I think they could.
I don't know, but there's a lot of similarities to that feeling that we had in 1988. What was the worst? Yeah. And if I could have stood in the locker room with those guys and said, "Look, this is terrible," and I know how you feel, but it'll get better. And stop putting so much pressure on yourself. Do what you need to do. Let's play the game. Because winning the game on the field is what they need to do now. They need to play the game. That's all.
I believe Billy would make a good major league manager.
Oh, Billy would be fantastic. Billy is a good baseball guy, good communicator, knows all situations. He was a starter and also as a role player. So, he understands a lot of stuff. He does fantastic on MLB Network.
He's great on it. He's a superstar. Last time I ran into Cal, he was sweating as always. He's pitching to Larry Sheets right before Gilman played Calvert Hall. Tell me about Gilman winning, and you had a little bit of influence there, bud.
Well, it was a wonderful season all the way around, and there was no magic formula that Larry Sheets and myself did. Larry did a wonderful job.
Did he hit off you?
Yeah, I jammed him a few times, but yeah, he hit off me a little bit. But one thing we did was we just put a positive environment around the kids, and we decided that we're going to give them more batting practice than they can take. So the machines are over. It's the off season. In the off season you can use the pitching machines, but when it comes time now, we're going to throw. And we threw and we threw and we threw, and the kids responded. We had a lot of talent, and things just went right this year. So it was a wonderful, wonderful year.
All right, and Cal's got his World Series coming up in August. Another one?
Yeah, we celebrate our World Series every August. It's grown each year incrementally. It's a nice place to be for youth baseball. If you don't know what it is, it's like Williamsport. It's our version of Williamsport in mini Camden Yards. We get teams from all over the country, all over the world to come in and compete, and it's a wonderful environment. They play good baseball. It's fun to watch.
Hey, one more question I got to ask. What about this book? You and Kevin Coward coming together for a book? You better be the speller. He's a terrible speller.
No, but I mean, it's a concept of using characters, real life characters that we know, and there's a little Baltimore feel to it to deliver a message. The first one's about controlling your temper. Most people that start out, including myself, had issues with anger, and how do you deal with that, and how do you get around that? So it's a wonderful novel that explains some of the principles.
What's the kid's name again?
Connor. What's Connor's last name? Connor Sullivan?
Connor Sullivan, that's it.
Connor.
Yeah, that's it, Connor.
We were talking about all the different names that we can come up with. Eddie Murray Field's in there. We have a lot of things that have Baltimore in it that we really enjoyed, but Connor's the star.
All right. Cal,
thank you.
Hall of Famer Cal Ripken, always come back next month. We'll talk World Series stuff. All right, Cal. All right, you could have called it Dr. Faramani in the book. Dr. Faramani.
We could.
John Faramani, good second baseman.
I'd have to learn how to spell that.